Federal Safety Corps reaffirms zero tolerance for corruption. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice asks Department of State Service to transfer Sowore's case to his office. Tension rises ahead of Edo APC rally. Federal, states, local government share 812.76 billion naira as revenue for the month of November 2019. On the international scene, we have the latest update in the UK's general elections. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. My name is San Ahmed Sambo. Also with me in the studios for the news is
Jemima Samuel.
There was tension in Benin, Edo State capital, over a rally that a faction of the All Progressive Congress APC, loyal to its national chairman Adams Oliu Oshimole, will hold a rally. The Oshimole faction held a rally for a former member of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Osagi Eze Iyamo. Ahead of the rally, 15 people were injured during a clash between supporters of Oshimole and those of the state governor, Godwin Obaseki. The APC in Edo State had last month been factionalized, with one group loyal to Oshimole and the other backed by Obaseki. The Oshimole faction, led by Colonel David Imuse, retired, said Friday's rally was being organized by the party to receive the PDP candidate in the 2016 governorship election, Eze Iyamu. But there was confusion over the rally on Thursday. Earlier on Wednesday, there was a letter dated 11th December which was addressed to Adams Aliu Oshimole. Similarly, the APC factional chairman on the side of Governor Mr. Anselm Ojezwa said the state governor and other leaders of the party were not aware of the purported declaration rally. He said the governor, who is the leader of the party in the state, and himself, the state chairman, are not aware of any rally. It is therefore highly provocative and capable of creating a breach of peace and urge members of the APC in the state not to have anything to do with the event. The IGP made a U-turn on Thursday when he wrote another letter suspending the rally. According to the letter dated December 12 and addressed to the state Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu, the IG ordered the suspension of the rally following growing tension between the camps of Obaseki and Comrade Adams Oshimole. The deputy governor had gone to the IG to complain that there would be a breach of security should the rally be allowed to go on, because Obaseki, as the chief security officer of the state, was not aware of the rally.
Turkish airlines have been suspended in operating in Nigeria due to what the federal government labeled as poor treatment of passengers. The directive was contained in a letter addressed to the airline by the Acting Director General of Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Abdullahi Sidi, and made available to reporters on Thursday by the Federal Ministry of Aviation. According to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the directive is necessary as some airlines have been consistently failed to bring passengers into Nigeria together with their checked-in baggage, accounting for 85% of flights from Turkey to Nigeria. The situation has led to security breaches in many instances in 2 weeks. Captain Abdullahi in a letter explained that the airport authority had been facing serious crisis controlling the passengers at the airports whenever they arrived without their baggage. The letter said the issue had made passengers carry out several mob actions at airport, which was a great threat to the airport facilities. In view of all this and a series of meetings held with the Turkish airline personnel, which did not yield any solution to the problem, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority therefore left with no option than to direct Turkish Airlines to suspend its operation into Nigeria until December 16, 2019, until it is ready to operate with the right size of aircraft that can transport all passengers with their baggage at the same time. Therefore, if there is no remedial action carried out by the Turkish airline, the suspension shall be effective from 16th of December 2019.
The zonal commanding officer in charge of Sokoto, Kebbi and Zamfara of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Assistant Corps Marshal Kayode Olagunji, has charged commanding officers in the zone to have zero tolerance for corruption and ensure proper monitoring of their staff. The zonal commanding officer stated this while addressing staff during the award presentation to some outstanding patrol leaders and marshals in the zone. The ZCO called on all FRC operatives in the zone to shun bribery and corruption and other acts that could tarnish the image of the Corps. He admonished the patrolmen to always be civil and show respect while dealing with road users. The Corps Marshal disclosed that while the Corps would always protect staff on legal activities, it will not shy away from punishing those that violate the operational guidelines of the Federal Road Safety Corps. He reminded all staff that the punishment for extortion, whether on the road or in the licensing center or anywhere while relating with members of the public, is dismissal. He further warned that such staff would be prosecuted and they stand the risk of imprisonment in line with the laws of the country. Dr. Olagunji congratulated those considered worthy of the award and called on them to justify their choice by continuing to be shining examples while performing their various responsibilities. In a release signed by the Zonal Education Officer, Route Commander Aminu Sokoto, the ZCO enjoined other staff to emulate the awardees as the management of the zone will continue to monitor performance of all staff and will reward them accordingly. He promised the outstanding ones will always be rewarded, while appropriate sanctions for erring ones will be maintained. The best 3 operational officers and marshals in each of the 3 sector commands from where the best 3 in the zone were selected and they were all rewarded. Route Commander Sanusi Muhammad of RSA 10, Sokoto, was the overall best in the officers category. RC Mujitafa Shagari and RC Bello Altini, both RS 10, Zamfara came second and third, respectively. In the marshals category, Aliyu Biliyaminu Safi unit came first in the marshals category, followed by Biliya Sanusi, while Kebi, Julie Abubakar and Sokoto came third. A total of 9 officers and 9 marshals were awarded at the ceremony. The zonal commanding officer assured the public that the zone is ready for the upcoming Christmas and New Year's with the deployment of all personnel and equipment to the main roads across the country. He informed of the collaboration of all stakeholders and called on road users to obey traffic rules and regulations throughout the festive seasons. He admonished motorists to avoid overloading, overspeeding, and dangerous driving, use of expired or worn-out tires, as well as driving under the influence of alcohol, drugs, and intoxicants. He advised against the use of phone while driving, reminding all motorists that driving requires 100% attention. The officer enjoined all passengers to always caution their drivers whenever they attempt to violate traffic rules and regulations and cooperate with members of the Federal Road Safety Corps at various locations in the country. He wished all road users safe journey to the New Year and Christmas.
Policemen from Ekiti State Police Command deployed to Kogi State for the conduct of last 4 months governorship election are appealing for the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Adamu, to intervene in the delay election coverage payment. A month later, the elections were concluded. The police, numbering over 200, alleged that their names were expunged from the list of those to be paid. The aggrieved policemen, who spoke on condition of anonymity during a chat with a journalist in Ado-Ekiti, the capital, vented frustration. One of them said that they want the IGP to investigate the matter to get their allowance and mete out proper punishment to whoever is culpable. Another aggrieved officer said that they risked their lives day and night to ensure adequate security during the volatile election. He said it is appealing and shocking that the police authorities have refused to pay them a month after the election, while others have received theirs. The aggrieved person said this has given room for suspicion that the fund must have been embezzled allegedly by some high-ranking police officers at the state or zonal level. Therefore, appealed to the IGP to investigate the cause of the delay.
The federal, state and local governments have shared 812.76 billion naira as revenue for the month of November 2019. Correspondent Mariam Aminu has more on the story.
Thank you. Once again, I am Mariam Aminu. The federal government, state and local governments have shared 812.76 billion naira as revenue for the month of November. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Mr. Mahmoud Issa Duse, stated this on Wednesday in Abuja while briefing newsmen on the outcome of the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee meeting. Giving a breakdown of the revenue accrued in November, Issa Duse said that the mineral revenue reduced by 100.8 billion naira from 522.6 billion naira recorded in October to 421.8 billion naira in November. Also, the non-mineral revenue increased by 68.2 billion naira from 159.4 billion naira in October to 227.7 billion naira in November. He also said that the value-added tax collected for the month reduced from 100.9 billion in October to 88.3 billion naira in November. The gross statutory revenue of the 649.6 billion naira received for the month was lower than the 682.1 billion naira received in the previous month by 32.5 billion naira. The revenue from the company's income tax increased significantly. He, however, said that revenue from foreign oil and gas, domestic oil and gas, royalties, petroleum profit tax, import and excise duties, and value-added tax decreased. Alhaji Issa Duse said in summary that the federal government received 280.9 billion naira, states 142.48 billion naira, and 109.84 billion naira was received by local governments. According to him, 47.8 billion naira, representing 18% of the mineral revenue, was shared to oil-producing states. Alhaji Issa Duse announced that $2.246 billion was withdrawn and shared to states as part of the Paris Club refund. He said the excess crude account had gone down from $2.318 billion in October to $631 million in the month of November. The deduction was from the final payment of the Paris Club refund. The final payments to states have been made and the figure was deducted from excess crude accounts. The news agency of Nigeria and Punch reports a decision was taken to make these refunds, and part of that decision is for the refund to be funded from the excess crude accounts. Alhaji Issa Duse said all the required approvals were obtained from the President and Federal Executive Council. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Mariam, for that report. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has ordered the Department of State Service, DSS, to hands off the trial of Omoyele Sowore, the convener of Revolution Now protest. In a statement by the Special Assistant to the Attorney General of the Federation on Media and Public Relations, Mallam Umar Gwandu, the order is to stage deliberate action to probe emerging concerns related to Omoyele Sowore's case for the speedy dispensation of justice. Malami's move follows reactions by the legislators, judicial officers, as well as civil society organizations on the manner in which the DSS handled the matter, particularly Sowore's rearrest. According to Gwandu, the request for the transfer of the case to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice is contained in a letter dated 11th December 2019 and addressed to the Director General of the Department of State Service, National Headquarters, Abuja. The letter, signed by the Solicitor General of the Federation, Dayo Akpata, reads in part, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, upon a further review of the case, has directed the immediate takeover of the prosecution of all charges in respect of Omoyele Sowore by the Federal Minister of Justice in line with the provision of sections 150 subsection 1 and 174 subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The latter requested the director of the DSS to promptly forward the case and all files in respect of Sowore to the office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. It could be recalled that before the DSS stormed the court in a bid to rearrest Sowore's hours after releasing him, the agency had come under criticism for its delay in releasing him on bail despite a court order. The DSS initially denied invading the courtroom to arrest Sowore, but later apologized to Nigerians.
Tragedy has stricken a family in Katsina State when 24 of its members died in an auto crash in Bauchi State following a head-off collision between a Hummer bus, a J5, at Gobi Gari village on Bauchi-Kano Highway. Daily Trust quoted a relation of the victims, Abdullahi Yamadi, confirming the accident, which is described as very sad. Yamadi, who is the Secretary Northwest Zone of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, said the deceased were all his relatives. He said the accident is true and all the deceased were his relatives and they were traveling to Yola, Adamawa State, for a visit when the unfortunate incident occurred. They left Dusema, Katsina State and had left Jigawa State and were within Bauchi State when their vehicle had a head-on collision with another vehicle. There were 29 in the vehicle and all of them died except the driver, who survived. He described the accident as very sad news and very pathetic of 28 people from the same family to die in an accident in one day. The FRSC Corps Commander, Bauchi Sector Command, Abdulrazak Najumi, who disclosed this to newsmen yesterday in Bauchi, said the accident happened at midnight on Wednesday.
Viewers, we go for a short break, and when we come back, international news.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. And on the international scene, Prime Minister Boris Johnson held sweeping victory in the general elections, promises UK will leave the European Union by January 31st. The United Kingdom has voted in a general election seen as a critical juncture in the crisis engulfing British politics. Thursday's high-stakes ballot came after a month of political deadlock about the UK's drama-filled bid to quit the European Union, with MPs split over how to execute the result of the 2016 referendum on membership of the bloc. Prime Minister Boris' Conservative Party and Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party offered starkly different visions for resolving the impasse and rebuilding the UK after a decade of austerity during the febrile campaign in the lead-up to the vote. The president of the European Council, Charles Michel, has said that the EU is ready to negotiate a free trade agreement with Britain, calling on London to work in good faith. He said the EU hoped for a quick British parliamentary vote on withdrawal from the bloc. The president said it is expected that a vote by the British Parliament will have clarity. Meanwhile, the U.S. President Donald Trump has congratulated Prime Minister Boris Johnson on the win, saying it meant Britain and United States will be free to strike a massive new trade deal after Brexit. President Donald Trump said the deal has the potential to be far bigger and more lucrative than any deal ever. A member of German Chancellor Angela Merkel's Christian Democrats and chairman of the Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee said they wanted the UK to remain in the EU, but the British people have decided otherwise and they have to accept their choice. With Johnson's victory, Brexit has become inevitable. Their goal now has to be to keep with the UK as close as possible. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has delivered his official victory speech from London, saying the Conservative Party had pulled it off. He explained that the election had put an end to the threat of a second referendum, adding that the United Kingdom will leave the European Union by January 31st, 2020. Viewers, that's the news. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. Federal Safety Commission reaffirms zero tolerance for corruption. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice asks DSS to transfer Sowere's case to his office. Tension rises ahead of the Edo APC rally. Federal, state and local governments share 812.76 billion naira as revenue for the month of November 2019. And on the international scene, we have brought to you the latest update in the UK's general elections. On behalf of
Jemima Samuel,
my name is Sani Ahmed Sambo, wishing you God's guidance and protection, and goodbye.